view actions in your object studio. In currency converter, so we created these actions. Here when we are writing amount, double click on the right, observe this is hard coded value, and for input also, if you
Dinesh,
observe,
can you please?
can you able to view now?
No, Dinesh.
Not at so.
Is it? Just a minute. Just a minute. No. Can you able to view my screen now? Let me know.
No, Dinesh, not at all.
Is it? Just a minute.
Yeah, now we can able.
Everyone?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. I shared previous videos as well. Okay. Here if you observe, so this values EUR. It's also hard coded input. Same way output. So this here also, it's also hard coded to INR. But our requirement is if you are running this process in a process studio, it has to take values dynamically from your Excel file. Assume that we have an Excel file here. Just a minute. Okay, currency. Now observe this. We have a amount and input currency, output currency, and result. Amount is different amounts, and currencies is it's different currencies, and then output currency also it's different output currency formats, and we need to get the result. Here this value it has to convert from EUR to INR. Here it has to convert from CAD to AUD, Canadian dollars to Australian dollars, Australian dollars to GBP, GBP to INR, INR to CAD. Different amounts we need to convert, and then we have to get the result. Finally, that is our requirement. If you want to work with Excel file, so what are the actions we have to perform? If you want to get the details from the Excel, and then if you want to give the same details to application, what is the best approach? When you are working with your Excel file, always you are going to write Excel data to your collection. Your collection. Once you wrote Excel data to your collection, from this collection you can give it to your application. And when you are giving the data to application, how come this process will know that how many records we have to process, how many times we have to go for a loop? So because we need to give a loop here. After the loop, we are giving to the application. This is the default process. Any application, the process is same, the approach is same, only your applications will change based on your requirement. Whatever the data that in Excel file, you are going to load it into collection. From the collections, you are going to load it into loop, and the loop you are going to give it to application. Now here already we created a process in the last class. for this currency converter. Same currency converter, we are going to add this particular Excel. After that Excel data to collection, from the collection to, we will give it to this application. We will see that how to implement. Let it be. What are the actions we need to perform here when we are working with current Excel file? Create instance. These are the default action when you are working with the Excel file. We have to perform. Most of the developers, so must and should, they have to implement these three actions. It's mandatory. Okay, sometimes in the interview also they will ask what are the default actions you are going to perform in your currency converter, or sorry, in a Excel, when you are working with the Excel file. When you are working with the Excel file, so we need to, first thing is create instance action. Next thing is open workbook. After opening your workbook, next thing is write get worksheet as collection. You are going to get the data as a collection. These are the three things so you are going to use in a Excel file when you are picking the data from Excel and when you are giving to your collection. Now we will see that create instance, open workbook, and then get worksheet as collection. Now come here, go to create instance, action, double click, create instance. This is MS Excel VBO, Visual Basic of Visual Business Objects, and create instance, and here it will be true. If you give true or if you leave it blank also, it will take it as a true by default here. Now handle, we are going to take the output as a handle because you need to give this output in next action. This is handle. Let it be create instance. After that open workbook, open workbook. MS Excel VBO, action name, open workbook, open workbook. Here we need to give the input as a handle. And then what about the file name? File name is nothing but your path where the file name is available. Firstly, this is a file name. We can use shift and then right click. You will get the option as copy as path. Come here. Use this copy as. But since it's not copied, now we have copied. And then you will get a output as a workbook name. Okay, good. Now it's generated. After the workbook name, what is our intention? We need to load all the data to your collection. So use this action, double click, get worksheet as collection. Get worksheet as collection. Now here inputs it is asking handle and book name. After that, worksheet name. What is your sheet name? Where you have data? In which sheet we have data? In sheet 1. Sheet 1 we have data here. Now come here. Give that sheet 1. Now output will be, we need to get it into collection. Yes, this is the collection data now. Click OK. Now all the data you will get into collection. Okay, that's fine. Now give the link. From start to create instance, open workbook, get worksheet as collection. After getting the data into the collection, now what we need to do? We need to use loop. We have to use a loop here, right? Because we are using collection. So we have n number of records in a collection. So all the data you need to pass it into our application, currency converter application. So we have to use a loop. Now here, one question. If I use a loop here, loop start, loop end will be there, right? Now, do you want to this launch? After that, we need to implement a launch. Do you need to use this launch after the loop or before the loop? Launch, what it will do? It will launch the currency converter application, right? Okay. For example, assume that we are giving from worksheet collection to this loop start. After this loop start, we are giving it to launch. Assume that. After the completion of that result, we are ending loop. Okay. If you observe here, the loop, what it will ask you, give me the collection name. This is the collection name. When you give this collection name, what it is going to pick? It will pick how many records we have in those collection. It will loop, it will go for a loop those many number of times. Those many number of times. Right? But here if you observe, after loop we are giving launch. Assume that we have 5 records. 5 records. Within the loop, what you have, it will implement 5 times. Right? Here, where we have a launch after the loop, right? It means first time it will launch the application. Again, when it is coming for the next record, again it will try to launch the same application. It is not suggested, right? Once the application is launched, your application model will launch your application. It will not launch the same application again. It means it will try to launch the same application n number, so 5 times or 6 times. How many times we have those things in that? Okay. So instead of that, what we can able to do this is, first we need to launch. After that, we have to go for a loop. That is the best approach. Now give this from get worksheet to launch. After this launch, you can go for a loop. Now from the loop, you can give it to application. Now make it properly. After this launch, we have to go for a loop start. From the loop start, amount, we need to give the amount. After that, input. After that, output currency, convert. After that, we are going to pick the result. So here we are picking the result. After that, we need to end the loop. Okay. After, you can terminate it. After ending the loop, you can terminate, and then you can end the process. Good. So this is the thing what we are doing here. Now, if I run this process, is this will run properly? If you observe here, okay, wait, let's go. Observe, it is going to the loop. Okay, it will take how many number of records we have in a collection? 5. Okay, it will take 5. It will understand that 5 times we need to go for a loop from here to here. Result. It will trigger the amount action. When it's triggering the amount action, what it is going to perform in the back end, what you have for the amount. Right click, view action in Object Studio. Observe this. In right, what you have, value, right? It means when you are running first time, it will pick the same value. When you are running second time, when it is taking second time, second values, it will pick the same value. It means every time it is going to pick same hard-coded value. But this is not our requirement. So we have to pass the values from collection one by one. In collection, how many records we have? 5 records. These values, first time we have to pass these first records. Second time we have to pass these records. Third time we have to pass these things. Fourth and then fifth, like that. Right? This is our requirement. So what you have to do is, how to achieve this? We need to go with input and output parameters. Right? If you observe here, so our statement is, where you are using values, there we need to create a parameters. Where we need the output, there we need to create a output parameters, where we need to call output, right? So where we are using here in your Object Studio, here in the amount, we are using the values amount, right? Here we need to create a input parameters, where we are calling this action amount action. Here in your process studio, here you are calling the amount action. See this amount. Here we need to pass the values. Here we need to pass the values. Where we are using, there we need to create parameter. Where we are calling, there we have to pass the values. We have to assign the values. Now come here, come to Object Studio. Here we need to create an input parameter. Observe this, add input is amount. We need to create data type will be number, store it in amount, and this amount we are going to give it to the here, right? So this, instead of this amount, I am taking this amount. It means we have created a input parameter and we are assigning this input parameter value to this right shape. Okay, we have created a parameter. How to assign the values for this? Saved it and then refresh. Come to your process studio, refresh. Here the amount, we created a parameter. Observe this. Now you can able to see the parameter here. Now here we need to assign the value. What it is asking, for this parameter, for this data type, give me the value. From where we have to pick the value, where our values is available. Values will be available in this collection. Values will be available in this collection, right? We are going to load the data from Excel to collection. From the collection we have to give that value. So how to pass the values from collection? Collection name dot field name, collection name dot field name. So when you are running, during the runtime, it will take these values and then it will give it to collection dot amount, right? What is the collection name here? Collection name is data, right? Data dot, what is the field name? Amount. data dot amount. Now it is going to assign these values to this amount action. We are passing the value. This value it will give it to here in Object Studio when it is starting to this particular data type, data item. Then the same value it will pass it here first time. Okay. Next, same way again we have to do it for input and output. Input, again we need to give the input parameter. We need to create input parameter. So this one I will give the name as input IP, input parameter, and then it will be text and store it in. Click OK. And the same input value we have to give it here. IP, leave it. Now we have to remove this hard coded value. Click OK. We created and we get given the value to data type. Same way output. Output. We create a output name, output parameter, and data type text, and click OK. Now this value, this output format value, we have to give it here. Output format, that is input format, this is output format. Okay. Now convert. Do you have any inputs and outputs here? When you are clicking on a mouse link, there's just a convert button, right? And then we have a result. We have result. Here we are taking output from the result. Already we created an output parameter, and then we are using this output parameter there in your Process Studio and terminate. We don't have any inputs and output. So here amount, input format, output format, and then result, we have parameters. We created everything. Refresh and save this one. It's saved. Now go to Process Studio, refresh it. Now come here. This is the data item. Sorry, this is the collection where you have all your, where you will get all your Excel values, Excel file values into this collection. What is the collection name? Data, right? During the runtime, the amount we have given as a data dot amount, collection name dot field name. The same way we have to give it to input. Input also collection name dot field name, collection name dot, what is your next column? Input. For input, input currency. This is the input currency. Come here, come to Process Studio and paste it. Input currency. The same way for output currency. Come here, use this data, click OK. Dot output, sorry, it's a output currency. Output currency. Good. We have given input currency, output currency. After that it will convert. After that we are going to get the result. This result, where you need to write it back, you have to write it back to the collection. Here how many columns we have? See this? 4 columns. So we have values all these 3, but do you have any values here? No, right? The same format it will write it into your collection. So we need to write back the values into the collection, again into collection name. Like so in previous example we saw the total salary, right? The same way Now come here. This result, whatever the result, you are going to get it here in the output. So here output parameter we created. This result we need to load it back to data dot. It will not accept. Data dot result. This is the column name, right? Result. Yeah. This is the data dot result. It will pick all the values from the result and well it will write back to your collection. This is the thing. Now just click OK. Everything we have done. Result. After the completion of all the records, it will come to loop. After that, it will terminate. After that, it will end. Once you get all the results to this collection, from this collection, you can able to write the data to your Excel file. You can able to write the data into separate Excel file also, in the same Excel file also, or same sheet, separate sheet, whatever it may be. We can able to perform those things, right? So to you, we have to use write collection and save workbook as these things. We have to use that later. Now up to here we will see. So we created the process. We created a bot now to implement that application. We will run step by step and just observe how it is working. We are running step by step. Step, create instance. Again step, it will go to create instance, backend, and it will finish all these things. It will check whether the file is available or not. To work with create instance, what will check? What it will check? It will check is that so executable file is available in the backend to work with or not, right? So enable events, it is checking. See this, it is checking the handle. Yeah, create instance, open workbook. In a open workbook, what it is going to do, it will check the handle again. After that, if the handle is available, it means the executable file is available or we can able to work with the Excel. Then it will ask you the path. It will take the path. It will check the file exists or not. See this, whatever the path we have given, the Excel file path, it is taking. It is checking file exists or not. Yes, file exists. Then so it will create a workbook name. It will give you workbook name here. Next, again workbook name. Observe this. It has taken workbook name as currency.xls. It has taken a workbook name currency.xls and then next. It will check the remaining things. And then again it will come back to this. Enable events to workbook name is currency and then this is the file path. Next, again it will come to get worksheet as collection. Now again click on the start. It will pick all the data from that Excel file. Before that it is checking instance handle. Next, check workbook is available or not. Whatever the workbook name we have given, is that workbook is available or not. And then after that, so see this, it has taken a workbook name. After that it is going to pick the data from workbook. So you need to check workbook is available. It has to go to the specific sheet, right? See this, sheet exists or not. Yes, sheet exists. What is the sheet name we have given? Sheet 1. Then it will copy the data from that sheet and it will give it to collection. Observe this. Now all the data it came to collection. We have amount, input currency, output currency, but we don't have any result. So we are, after the completion of the process, we are writing back the data, writing back that result to this one. Now again we will go to step by step. Step, loop. So what you have, launch, sorry, we have a launch. It will first launch that application, right? Observe this, it's launching. After the launch, so what you have, we have a wait option. So it will wait. some specific period of time. After that it will come out. After that it will go for a loop. Next, observe, it is trying to enter amount in that application. So here it is there. So now run this. So now I'll open this, come to process. Okay. Now here we have an amount, and then again step. It is running backend in the object studio, right? It is having parameter, start parameter. The value has been given in your process studio. The same value it will take. See this amount. What is the first value from this Excel? 7897. The same value it is taking here, 7897. And next, observe, in that application here, it return that particular specific value. Again step. So now what it will do? Now after the amount, it has to go to the input currency. Input currency again it has to. So I will use step over. Then it will skip the back end things. Now see this UR. It entered UR here. After that, what is that? Next one will be UR2. Next again step over. UR2 INR. After that, it will click on convert. Step over. So now it will take some time. Okay, see this? It clicked on convert, and then it is converted the value. Also this, the value you can able to see. This value you have to take it into again right back to your collection. Now the value has generated. Again step over. Now in the result you are taking into collection. Now double click on this. Come to the current. Observe this result. That result, whatever the result it has been calculated by this application, you are giving it to your collection. You are writing back. Yes, it has converted UR to INR. This is the conversion value. This is the live conversion rate. Okay. The same way, so you have to run for the remaining things, right? Now observe. Just I am clicking on start. It will go to the next amount, convert. After that, it will go to result. After the result, again it has to come back to conversion. Now observe this. It's a AUD GBP, and then it is going to click on convert button. After that you will get the value. So next value it is picking AUD to GBP, and then it is converting GBP to INR, and it is converting the values. Observe. Okay, here everything it is working fine, and then it is trying to load the data into your, so back to collection, whatever the result. Okay, once you get all the data, 4362, one more record we have, 8986. Now last record it has taken. Here we need to discuss some properties. So when your system, so performance is good and then everything is working fine, so then observe this, all the records it has been captured, all the result it has been captured here, fine. Now from this, after this, what you are going to do, it has captured all the records. After that you need to load it into your Excel file, right? Then what you are going to do, you are going to use write action, write write collection, write collection in a MS Excel VBO. MS Excel VBO, you are going to write collection, sorry, write collection. When you are giving write collection, you can give your, so this handle, and then which collection data you need to write. This collection, this is the output collection where you have a output for all the things, and then worksheet name, this is your workbook name, and then sheet name, in which sheet you need to write the data. For example, sheet 2, I want to write the data into sheet 2, or in the sheet 1 also you can replace, if you want you can replace from the A1, otherwise I will take it as a sheet 1. And we need to cell reference where you need to write the data. For example, I need to write the data from here, it means A12, cell reference is A12. If you want to write the data from here, then cell reference is G3. If you want to write the data from here, again A1, cell reference is A1. So we'll write the data from here, we'll take it as a A12. If you want into different sheet, you can mention the sheet 2, and then we can able to do that. Now come here, sheet 1, A12. And do you need column names? It means true. Field names, the headers we required, true. And then click OK. After this, what we need to do, we need to save, right? We return data into that particular Excel sheet. After that, we need to save, write data to Excel sheet. After we have written the data Excel sheet, what we need to do, we need to save. Again, use another action, give the link, save, or save our book as anything. We will use save, MS Excel VTO, and use this save workbook. We have option called save workbook or save current workbook, anything is fine. Generally we will use save workbook. And then what it is asking, it's asking handle, and then it asking workbook name, workbook name. That's it, is going to save. And one more thing, here we have used create instance, right? It means we are opening Excel file, so properties to work with the Excel, it means it is enabling all the properties to work with the Excel file. When you are using create instance, remember always we need to close the instance, close instance, like launch and terminate. When you are launching the application, must and should after launching we need to terminate, right? Same way, once the process is completed, so Excel implementation is completed, after that you have to close the instance. If you don't close, it will run that Excel file properties in the backend, it will be running. So the process, in a process performance, it is going to occur. Now observe this, it has been completed, right? The process is completed. If you observe in a taskbar, task manager, if I close this also, I closed it. If you observe here somewhere, you will have Excel file. See this Microsoft Excel. Still it is available. We have to close this. Otherwise it will take some process, performance, and then it will decrease. And then so if you want to access the same file in another process, it will not access because in the previous process still it has been opened. Now we have to close that instance. Use action, close instance, business object, MS Excel VBO, close instance. Just give the handle name. What is the handle name? Here, your this one. And then, do you want to save the changes? Yes, obviously. True. And then click OK. That's it. After that, go to the end. Now, so everything is done properly. So now here we have it. Here already we have a values. We calculated all the values to the this collection. From this collection, so we need to write. After that, here from this we will run. We will make it as a start set next stage. If you make it as set next stage, okay, we'll see that. So it will pick the data from this collection and then it has to write the data. Now run. Could not execute code page because it's on the code page font is okay. So we have to run it in a from starting onwards. Okay, reset. It's done everything. Now we'll try to run. Okay. It's going to launch your application. Sometimes when you are working the same application in your machines, sometimes first record it will run properly. It will calculate the result properly. But when it is coming to the next record, sometimes it will throw you so that element unable to match or element is duplicating, element is already available. It will show you like that. Then we have to uncheck some properties when you are when you are creating that element. I will show you what all the properties you need to uncheck. The thing is because sometimes if it is capturing the values the first time, whatever the values you are giving, it is going to capture. It's like it will act as a memory clipboard. And when it is taking first value, it's already available. When you are giving the another value, it will not take because the first value is already available in that. So that's why it is not going to pick the things. For that, what you have to do is, okay, let me finish this. Once it completed, I will show you. So start record it is running. You can able to see the which record it is running in a date collection. So now it's picking fourth record. In convert action we used wait, so that's why it is holding on time. Now it's picked fifth one, last record. Once all the results it came to collection, then it is going to pick the data from this collection to Excel file. Okay, so now it's finished. Now just observe. We will go to desktop, the same file, currency. Double click on this. Okay, just double click. So this is the issue with the Excel file. It's not licensed. The product key is not updated. That's why. So it will behave like this. Terminate. So this just close it. You can able to see the same values here. So this it's coming on, it is going. So you have to restart this machine, then only you can able to see that. Okay. Whatever the values we have there, it has written. Just task manager. Okay, if you observe, okay, still it is. Okay, observe this results, right? You can able to see the result from where it has written A12, A12 it has written, and then you can able to see the result values here. Okay, good. So now here one thing, so you need to remember. Come to here, process studio. Here we are giving the amount where we are creating the actions from this here. And when you are creating an element, go to application modular, click on the application modular, observe this amount. Here, what are the options we have? Input type, input identifier, and then ID, right? Observe these things. Input type, input identifier, and ID. So input, so type, that will be. So uncheck, you need to uncheck ID and input identifier. ID and input type or input identifier, these three things. If you uncheck, it is going to work properly. So we have to uncheck, because so it is taking the amount first time. So when it is taking, it is equal to, it is taking the whatever the amount it is coming to, that it will take. And then second time also, when you are working with this, so this input type is, let it be input identifier, and then input type you can uncheck. And then if it is not working, then we have to check this. So input ID, it will take that ID number, and then it will preserve. Second time when you are again trying to hit that, so it will take the previous value. That's why we have to uncheck ID and input identifier. You have to test it, and then you have to do that based on your application, based on your browser. So it is going to pick the things, and that's why we have to use this. And somewhere output same, and then input format. So this everywhere you have a ID input type, ID input type. So this is also ID input identifier. So we have to uncheck these things. Convert. So we don't have anything here. ID we have. So we have to uncheck, then it will work properly. So just so try to implement the same thing. So if you have any issues, so let me know. So we will discuss on this. Okay.